Well, hello everybody. It's Dr. Carmen Bryan. This is Car Chronicles. How you guys doing? You guys ready? Well, let's do this. Let's talk about these adjective narcissists. And when we say adjective narcissist, let's talk about that emotional vampire, that emotionally manipulative vampire. So all of you know that a narcissist operates off of the emotions of another human being. That's where they get their fuel from. They need your reaction, not your response. Because like I tell everyone, before you respond to anything that they do, especially like if they text or something like that, give yourself 24 to 48 hours to respond and not react. But a narcissist looks for reaction. They look for the emotions of a person. That's why some of you guys that are dealing with your emotions, a lot of you, and this only applies to those who apply to. So don't be mad at the messenger. I'm just delivering the message. Don't be mad at me now. But a lot of you operate out of your emotions. You make decisions off of emotions. You choose your mates off of emotion. You get your cars, your houses. You know, everything you do is emotionally based. You don't use the wisdom that you have. You don't use logic. You use emotions. And a narcissist knows that the average person that they connect themselves with is going to make decisions based off of emotion. That's why you have that term cognitive dissonance. And the best way to describe cognitive dissonance is when you have the truth, you have the facts, there it is, and I use smoking for an example, smoking can kill you. You see people with the traits, well, whatever the voice box is. You hear about the people having chemotherapy, you hear about people losing their lungs, so you have the facts, you know that it's dangerous, but the addiction and then the emotions override the logic. They override what you need to do. And a lot of times those emotions are so strong that people make decisions based off of their emotions because it's a temporary fix. It's not a permanent fix. A narcissist is aware of that. A narcissist is aware that if they can manipulate your emotions, they can get you to make permanent changes or permanent decisions out of your emotions that oftentimes you can't even go back to. Anything that they do, even when it comes to their children, when you're dealing with parental alienation, when you're dealing with, the trauma bonding, it all deals with emotions. That's what they look for. And so those of you, some people that have borderline personality disorder, those of you that have emotional issues, a lot of times you wonder why the same thing keeps happening over and over again because you keep making emotional decisions. You wonder why you keep jumping in the same relationship over and over again. But a lot of times you won't take accountability for yourself. You won't look at your own self to determine what kind of cycle do I need to break? Well, the biggest cycle that most people need to break is the cycle of emotional attachments. A lot of times when you choose a partner to marry, this is not based off of emotions. This is based off of, and I keep in mind, I'm a believer. You got to understand, I've been through it. I understand. I've made many choices based off of emotions. And here I am making videos with you. Here I am specializing in trauma bonding. Here I am specializing in narcissist abuse because of the emotional decisions that I made throughout my life. Those emotional decisions that you're making are not just affecting you, but affect everybody around you. The emotional decisions that you're making to stay in the relationship, to stay connected, even when the person is finally getting out of your life and you still decide to stay connected with this individual, affects you. It affects your body. It affects your children. You wonder why you're looking at your children. You wonder why your children, you're starting to see little signs. You're starting to see little behavior patterns, and you won't break those behavior patterns because you feel guilty. Well, you know what? I was like that at one time. Well, you know what? They've been hurt. You want to address those behavior patterns and cycles that you see. And then all of a sudden they strengthen. Do you know that cycles equal systems? Do you know when there's a certain behavior patterns and cycles, and they keep repeating themselves, they strengthen themselves and they create systems. And systems are, if you look at systems are rules and laws, that maintain those cycles and patterns, those rules and laws that are now in place to maintain those cycles and those patterns. But a lot of you won't break those cycles and patterns, and a lot of those cycles and patterns that you need to break is having to look at your own self to see how you keep making these emotional decisions. When you pick a partner or when you get together with someone, it should not just solely be based off of your emotions. Emotions and that sexual connection, that should be the very last thing that you give to anybody because that's valuable. Listen, I was looking up cars, and I'm going to leave you with this right here. I was looking up cars, and in the past, the most expensive cars was the Bugatti. And I went to go look at the most expensive cars in the world, right? So I went and looked it up. You guys go look it up. The most expensive car in the world called the Rolls-Royce boat tail. $28 million. And it says that it caters to the profanely wealthy. Not just the wealthy, the profanely wealthy. And the way that the car is modeled after the high-end yachts. When you look at it, the back of the car is modeled after the high-end yachts. Profanely, not just wealthy, profanely wealthy. $28 million. The next one was the Bugatti La Voiture Noir. I think I said that right. Oh my God, this car is absolutely gorgeous. $18.68 million. So I brought that up for a reason. And the reason why I brought that up is if you notice that there is no advertisements for these type of cars. You don't see you don't see them investing in marketing. You don't see them investing in paid advertisements. You don't see these vehicles, you don't see these vehicles being advertised. And the thing about these vehicles is that the manufacturers, the designers, they understand the quality and the value of these particular automobiles. It's fine craftsmanship. You already know. When I looked at the Bugatti, now I'm not a sports car type of person. And the Rolls Royce, I love the Rolls Royce. They're very beautiful. The Rolls Royce boat tail, it looks more like an antique vintage car. But that Bugatti, that one that I was telling you about, now it's more of a sports car, but it's gorgeous. But just imagine, the fine leather craftsmanship, the people that are creating these vehicles with these creative minds, beautiful cars. Now think about it. They understand that they don't need to market, and they understand that they cater to the profanely cussing type rich, profanely rich folks. Now they understand the value of their product. Why don't we understand the product, our product, us? Because you have value. These vehicles, listen, when there's a person that owns these vehicles, the person does not add value to the vehicle. And realistically, the vehicle adds value to the person and places that person in a different economic status where the world can see. So if a person owns this vehicle or has this vehicle, automatically in the sight of the world, it puts them in a different, higher level of economic status, socioeconomic status. So the vehicle adds value to the person. The vehicle, so you don't need advertising, because if that person has that car, people envy the person. They see the vehicle, the person is advertising the car, so they don't need to advertise the car. So the question becomes is, how come you don't see your value? You have to understand that when you come into someone's life, and that's male and female alike, when you come into someone's life, you adding value. A narcissist pretends to be a Bugatti, pretends to be a Rolls Royce, but it's just the shell of the vehicle sitting on top of a Pinto, sitting on top of a Yugo. Remember the Yugos back in the day? Sitting on top of a Volkswagen wagon. So they have this facade to make you think and lure you in, because now guess what? You're being pulled in by your emotions. You're being pulled in by what you see, what you feel, what you taste, how I feel on the inside. I feel. And that car makes me look good because I'm going to feel relevant. I'm going to feel important. And then when you take the top of that sheet off of the car and you're looking at a Pinto and you're looking at a Yugo from back in the day, or a little tiny Volkswagen Bug from back in the day, it's got a little engine. You trying to turn on the Bugatti, and instead of it giving you a roar, it's giving you a yow. And now you realize you would a yow because you've been fooled, because you were driven by your emotions. Stop allowing your emotions to be your GPS system of life, because a GPS system has glitches. A GPS system is not always on point, y'all. Not always on point. Doesn't always catch up with the upgrade. But you guys are using your emotion. I'm not saying you guys. When I say you guys, it is for who it is. Some of you may feel guilty. I don't like Dr. C no more. That's because of the fact that I done hit something. And when the haters come out, you already know I done hit something. But the thing is you can't be driven by your emotions. Your emotions cannot be your GPS system in life, because you're going to fall off the cliff. You have to go and get some help. You have to stop being in denial. And sometimes you are the common denominator. Yep. A narcissist is a narcissist, and they do what they do. They out here narking, like Queen Holiday say. They out here narking. You can't change it. Look at yourself.